How are we doing, everybody, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be looking at the patch notes for Path of Diablo. The official ladder reset day is tomorrow. I don't know the exact time. I think it usually starts later in the day. Let's check right quick if they have a time in here. Ladder reset times, here they are. So for New York, it's going to be 1600 Eastern time, 1300 Pacific time, so 1 p.m. Pacific. So kind of an earlier reset, seems like. We're going to be going over all the patch notes for the newest patch, Perlite. Kind of comparing them to other mods that are doing a very close reset of next week, Project Diablo 2. I'm just going to kind of give you guys my thoughts and how I think the mod is progressing. As you guys know, if you're watching my videos, my whole channel was originally based around this mod, so I do have a deep love for this mod, but I do think there is some areas of improvement. So let's get right into it. First off here, Green Dude has listed the website ladder and PM system were fully rewritten to improve website performance. I think this was incredibly needed. We'll see if it kind of lives through the hype of the new ladder, because sometimes that website was just awful. The PM system was terrible. It wouldn't notify you when you got messages, and 90% of the time you just end up messaging someone in game. So hopefully this fixes that issue. Next up, we got season first page is now accessible from the ladder page. This is kind of cool, nothing huge. Just gives you the firsts for everybody. I don't know if this is gonna be permanent. That's kind of how it is for other mods, where it'll just say season 20 Perlite and then give you the list of all the people. It's cool that your name's kind of engraved. That I'm never a first. I'm not a speed rusher. I mean, I guess it's kind of cool. I don't have anything against it. It's fine. New mechanic, alternate skills. I kind of like this. It's not a bad idea. So basically, this is the Mind Blast. Now has two different modes. It now has a stun mode or like a cast mode. The stun mode does no damage. The casting mode does all the damage. So it's one skill, but you can keybind it as two separate skills. So you can put it on F1 and F2, and then stun them and then cast them, etc., etc. Cool idea. I don't mind it. It's fine. Mind Blast damage synergy from Mind Barrier changed to Cloak of Shadows. So you're just messing with some synergies there. More changes with the Assassin. Psychic Hammer damage from Mind Barrier also changed to Cloak of Shadows. Mind Barrier is actually just straight up deleted out of the game. I assume that's why he's making changes to this. He probably changed Mind Barrier to this alternate skill mode. That's why he had to delete a skill and then rework it to be a second skill of Mind Blast, I'm guessing. A bunch of different auras here actually got buffed a little bit. They increased the radius from 32 units to 36 units. So all of the auras will be a little bit wider, so that's good, I guess. Helm corruptions have been changed a little bit. Strength corruption 5 to 15 now instead of 5 to 10. Energy and dex and vitality are all the same, so they all got bumped to 5 to 15. Fixed a bug with Blessed Hammer proc on Blessed Aim. So that got buffed a little bit, so that build should be a little bit better. Frenzy incorrectly listing Cleave as a synergy when in reality it was Double Swing. That's good to know. People, when it's listed wrong, people buff the wrong skills and wonder why they don't do any damage. So that's good to get correct. Throwing weapons now have a chance to hit critical strike. That's good. Throwing weapons now have durability instead of quantity. Melee and ranged attacks both consume durability. Makes sense, kind of consistent with the rest of the weapons in the game. Mythical Sword range adder increased from 1 to 2. So it looks like they gave the Mythical Sword a little bit more range. Unique item Earth Shifter, chance to cast level 14 Fissure, increased to level 19 Fissure. Okay, whatever. Faith Runeword reanimated as skeleton stat reduced from 10 to 4%. So it's a pretty big nerf to Faith. Those skeletons were pretty essential for keeping assassins alive. As far as they give you a lot of cannon fodder when you're playing solo and stuff. So I think that's just going to make Faith a little bit worse, and it's going to actually kind of be a subtle buff to like 6-socketed wind forces and stuff. Bolcathos Sacred Charge knockback removed. Okay. Whirlwinds can now proc CTCs, meaning a chance to cast. So like, for example, Bone Hugh has a chance to cast Bone Spear, stuff like that. Project Diablo 2 just did the exact same thing, so they were kind of on the same page with that. I don't know how really effective this is going to be. It's going to look really cool, but the damage on the CTCs don't really do that much in general. So we'll see how that kind of works out. You kind of just got to test it and find out. It looks like a 1/3 chance penalty to a skill that has a 30% chance. Will actually have a 10% chance. The penalty does not affect when struck or on kill / level up death. Melee splash will not work. And then it looks like he also fixed a crash. This should actually be a separate tab in my opinion. Fixed a crash that could occur from using Whirlwind as an O skill, for example, the Chaos Rune Word. Chaos Rune Word +1 Zeal changed back to +1 Whirlwind, so he fixed that old bug from vanilla. So that's good. So we might see some Whirlwind Assassins back in the game again. That would be kind of cool. Whirlwind on Chaos Rune Word will use the expansion mode mechanics, which makes Whirlwind benefit from attack speed. Interesting. Okay, cool. Here's just some more information on the expansion mode. Chance to reduce weapon durability reduced from 10 to 4%. I believe that's talking about the Chaos Rune Word, because they would break incredibly fast. Phase run chance to reset duration slightly, reduce slightly at higher levels, 11 to 8%. So a slight nerf to phase run, I guess. I don't know if that was super necessary, but okay. Toad's Foul Flame, Righteous Fire, radius increased. As of right now, that sword's pretty worthless anyways, so I don't know if that's really going to affect anything other than like a meme build or something. Act 1 Mercenary now has Pierce, Amazon skill. That's a slight buff to Act 1 Mercenaries. I think they still need a little bit more. They need to kind of follow the Project Diablo 2 thing on those, in my opinion. They're just still not good. Fireclaw Fisher synergy changed to Armageddon. So synergy change for the Druid. Significantly reduced gambling cost of arrows and bolts. Okay, that's cool. Open Wounds formula reworked. Remains the same as vanilla mechanically. Base duration reduced from 8 to 4 seconds. Added a plus Open Wounds bleed damage stat. And added a Open Wounds bleed duration stat. Okay, cool. So slight rework, but it seems to work the same as vanilla mechanically. Casting Grim Ward is no longer interruptible. That's cool for barbarians. You'd get hit and you can't cast it, and that was super annoying. Reverted Warp Spear back to vanilla stats. They were changed accidentally. That's funny. Inflame and Refrigerate now have separate damage for both allies and self, so at least you'll be able to know what your ally cast is and your self cast is, so that's fun. Inflame damage scaling at higher levels reduced, so Inflame got another nerf. Inflame damage energy reduced from 12 to 8%. Self damage is triple the ally damage, so at least that would still be viable. So if you wanted to do like the Inflame Sorks, like the multi-shot or something like that, you can still do that. Refrigerate damage increased from 15 to 20%, so I got a slight buff. Oak Sage plus life level reduced from 4 to 3%, so Sage is getting a nerf. Lycanthropy life percent per life level 3 to 4 is a slight buff. Wake of Fire damages reduced from 20 to 18. Nerf up to Wake of Fire there, so assassins are going to be a little bit weaker as far as the traps go, but they were pretty broken anyway, so that's fine. Leap now deals damage in area upon landing. So it's a slight leap buff, but unless they like buffed it through the roof, I don't know how viable that's going to be. I kind of like Project Diablo 2's version of leap. So maybe they're kind of pulling something like that and trying to increase it a little bit. That would be kind of cool. Next up we got Blade Shield damage scaling decreased on all levels. So a significant nerf to Blade Shield, it looks like. Blade Throw no longer shares a maximum trap count with elemental traps, so it will no longer destroy an existing trap if 5 are deployed. That's good. Warcry damage synergies increased from 16 to 17%. Warcry barbs are already really strong, so that's an interesting change. Freezing Arrow starting mana cost decreased from 8 to 4.5, so that's actually kind of nice for lower levels. It was always not even worth going basically bow at all when you're starting out because of this. The mana cost is just absolutely insane. You always roll Java to start out for the most part. So maybe that'll help out with that a little bit. Raised Skeleton Warrior damage base per level slightly at 17 plus. 17 plus Raised Skeleton Warrior. So there's a slight buff to Raised Skeleton Warrior. Once again, summons in this game are not great for the Necro, in my opinion. They're still slow, they don't do enough damage, and they die quickly. So I think you're going to need to raise the damage more than slightly. We'll see how that goes, though. Summon Mastery minion damage per level increased from 10 to 12%. That'll help out a little bit, but once again, they're so at the bottom of the list. They need more than that, in my opinion. Amazon bow skills could offer a significant distance Has been reduced slightly beyond the edge of the screen, so that's another huge Amazon nerf where you're no longer going to be able to one-shot stuff off screen. Multi-shot reduced weapon damage from 100% to 90%. Multi-shot cap reduced from 24 to 18, so more huge bow nerfs. Multi-shot flat damage skill damaging lowered at 23 plus. Another huge nerf. It looks like maybe multi-shot Amazons aren't going to be the king anymore. That's a lot of huge nerfs. These 4 nerfs right here. Which, to be honest, they kind of needed that. They were so incredibly overpowered. I prefer, in my opinion, to buff up other characters to the same level instead of nerfing something so significantly. But that's just me. I mean, they did need to be kind of leveled down a little bit, which I know I just contradicted myself, but that's how it goes. Search for Kane quest reward, and I'll give him a melee splash jewel in addition to a rare ring. That's actually really good because it did take forever sometimes to find a melee splash, which could make leveling a melee character kind of annoying. That's gonna be kind of nice. You get your melee splash at super early levels and be able to make some progress a little bit faster. So that's cool. Fixed a bug which allowed opening a town portal in the Infernal Trial area. Okay. New barb passive puncture. Adds bleed chance, duration, and damage. Okay. New barbarian passive, counterattack, chance to strike back at an enemy attacker with your main hand damage. Okay, that could be interesting. We gotta test that stuff out. New barb passive, pulverize, chance to send a shockwave towards enemies. Okay, interesting. They're gonna kind of steal the shockwave ability from the druid and give it to the barb. That's interesting. Dealing physical damage. There's a huge rework on the whole martial arts tree. I'll just have you guys look this stuff up. I'll read through it really, really quickly. But we're really gonna have to test it and kind of look. There's gonna be a lot of item reworks. That's before and after. They reworked the whole system. We're just gonna have to kind of get in there and test it out to see if it's really worth anything. But the whole martial arts tree was completely overhauled. No longer require finishing moves. You basically charge up and then you can proc the effect, and then the charges don't expire from attacks. So that's good. So all the main abilities have been completely reworked here. Elemental skill for testing on PTR conversion reworked. Relics can now have special encounters where you come across a stronger, more dangerous monster randomly while clearing the zone. So that's actually kind of like a second boss, it seems like. Added bosses to relics which had none, so that's good. So a bunch of the maps are completely worthless in doing because they didn't have a boss, and you would just eat your chance of, getting another map out of them. Added new relic stats to increase pool of stats, such as that annoying stats appear less often and are less likely to stack with one another. So all these super annoying like decrep and slow mods, which would just make the map completely unplayable. Hopefully that'll be less likely to stack. The relic changes will not be in the PTR initially, but will be added throughout the week. I'm working on some new relics, but map design is very time consuming, blah, 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 complaining there. A bit more just items that have been reworked. So the ripsaw, added bleed, I think is to that one. Volcathos has been reworked. Once again, I don't know how like effective some of this stuff is really going to be. Gargoyle's Bite has been reworked. Winged Harpoons, that's a throwing weapon, might be kind of cool to play with a throw barb. Here's some more interesting quality of life stuff. Loot filtration code has been completely rewritten to improve performance, thereby reducing FPS drops. So if anyone has played Path of Diablo extensively, you know that sometimes you get what's called loot filter lag, which if you had a large number of items, specifically in maps, and you enabled your loot filter, it would lag you to no end. So hopefully that'll be dropped. Loot filtration now supports displaying notifications in the chat. Love this. This is what Project Diablo 2 did. This is what a lot of single player mods do. Whenever an item drops, it'll text you literally in chat and say, Ja, rune dropped. Perfect. Love it. Makes it so you can't miss those items. Loot filtration now supports minimap icons for dropped items. Once again, love this. A lot of mods do this. It's awesome. You're never going to miss that Ja rune, that drops off screen and you don't see it. Loot filtration now supports audio cues for dropped items, so we should theoretically be able to change what that audio cue is and give you different dings for different items so you know what's dropping at all times. Improved audio to reduce FPS drops in large areas or with big party sizes. Amazing. Added new options show minimum max range of stats on items. Once again, Pluggy does that. A lot of mods do that. Always display items instead of holding the Alt key. I believe that was, that's Project Diablo 2 did that as well. I like to hold the Alt key. I don't have mine on at all times. It just clutters up your screen in my opinion. But it's cool. Some people like it. Charms will no longer display a level requirement greater than 100 when outside of the charm inventory. I'm curious about how they're going to prove that, because there's always new guys that are going to throw this in the top inventory and not understand why it's not working. So hopefully they put like a message in there that says, please put in bottom inventory. Otherwise, you're still going to get all the posts on the forums complaining about, why is it level 100? Added a scroll bar to the character selection screen. That's nice. You don't have to use the down arrows anymore. Removed a 10-frame global skill cooldown that can occur on some skills and CTCs if PTR testing goes well. So assuming the testing went well, that'll be in there. That's kind of cool. Game names ending in numbers will automatically be increased by 1. This is another thing that they took from Project Diablo 2. Awesome. Something, just a small quality of life thing that should have been done, years ago. Game name, password, and game servers are all remembered after exiting a game, so you don't have to refill everything. Beautiful. Once again, amazing quality of life stuff. Public game list now has a search bar. Thank you. Amazing. Going to the website to try to find a ball game because you had to look at all 3 tiers of difficulty was so annoying. Thank you for fixing that. That's amazing. New information added while the minimap is opened. Area, monster level, ping, FPS, clock, and your current GS number. That's sweet because you can always find out what GS you're on if you accidentally log into the wrong GS. That is cool. Inventory management shortcuts have been remapped like Path of Exile. Control left click moves an item. That's always been there. Control shift left click moves an item to the cube. I think that one's new. Control right click throws an item on the ground. That's always been there. Control shift right click identifies an item. So once again, they're stealing a page out of the Project Diablo 2 book where you can just right click an item. This one's going to be control shift right click. Okay, I guess, cool. I would have preferred that they just did the right click method like Project Diablo 2 did. But I think they're worried about catching flack from taking a lot of the same ideas from Project Diablo 2. But when it comes to this game, it's a 20-year-old game. People are gonna have similar ideas on what they want done, and I have no problem with these guys. I mean, working together, I guess. They're not really working together, but a lot of the same items. The quality of life is quality of life. There's no reason there should be a competition over who has better quality of life. So I have no problem with them borrowing this stuff, and who knows, they may have even asked help for the code and whatever. That's beautiful. I love it. Next up, we have improved inventory management code for better performance, added 1080p and 4K upscaling through a new video mode. Okay, so if you have like a 4K monitor, that's cool. Clan improvements were introduced a few weeks ago. You can set ranks for your members and talk in a global clan chat. Okay, cool, I guess. I don't really play. I usually play solo, or just with a few friends. I don't know if I'm going to be using the clan features, but if you guys play with a big group of people, or you're like a Twitch streamer or something, that could be cool, I guess. This is amazing. You can now set your favorite GS using /GS. This is fantastic. The only thing I would like to actually improve a little bit further is let me prioritize like a top 3 or a top 4 or even top 5 of GSs that are acceptable in my area. So for example, I live in the Chicago area, but Chicago area is not my primary GS because it's always laggy. So I usually use Colorado or Georgia. So if I could prioritize Colorado, then Georgia, then Chicago, that would be ideal, because if it's still like the old system where if your GS is full, it just throws you to a random GS in Japan or something, and then it's literally unplayable, especially for hardcore. So hopefully they implement that maybe next season, or kind of continue to expand on this, because this is a good idea. It's just not quite all the way there yet. New storage tab in Stash. Store and stack all your runes, gems, and OOCs. So this is their new rune stacking system. This is their competition to Project Diablo 2. I like this idea a whole lot. I am still concerned about the duping. Project Diablo 2 ran into a huge duping issue with stacking stuff. You were able to, somehow crash the game out into thinking you have more than what you actually have with these stacked runes and whatnot. Green Dude specifically said he would never implement this because it's impossible to prevent duping. And then next season he introduces it. So hopefully they figured out how to prevent the duping from happening. But as you guys can see, it is kind of cool. He's got 615 burr runes, it looks like. 750 or 730 jaw runes. So it's kind of cool. A little bit cluttered with like all the chipped crap. I mean, obviously most people don't keep anything lower than the flawless and the perfect. So It would be nice if I could get rid of some of the crap in here that I don't want to look at, but we'll see how this goes. Hopefully it works. Hopefully it's functional and doesn't cause any game crashing, server ending stuff like it kind of did with Project Diablo 2 in the beginning. So at the very end here, he's just got it, just a thank you list of all the people that have helped him out with it, which is fantastic. Overall, I think this is going to be a really good season for Path of Diablo. Hopefully they don't have any server issues like they have had in the past. My biggest concern is that they waited way too long to reset the servers, which now means Path of Diablo is resetting tomorrow, 3/5, March 5th, and then Project Diablo 2 is resetting next week, which means Path of Diablo might have a week or so, and then the Project Diablo 2 launches, and it's going to split the community in two. You know, a lot of us play both, so it's just going to be kind of hit or miss. I really wish Path of Diablo stuck to their guns and, you know, had consistent reset schedules. Whether or not it would have been nice to get half of this stuff and then had a consistent reset, in my opinion, versus waiting this long and now making me choose between Path of Diablo or Project Diablo 2, because I want to play both. I'm a YouTuber. I look for content. I make guides. I make videos, all that kind of stuff. And now my time is split between these two mods and my real life job. Which kind of sucks. So it is what it is. I'm going to play this for, you know, a week or so. Then I'll probably be going over to Project Diablo 2 and playing that for a little while. And we'll just kind of go from there and see which one I like more. We just got to kind of jump in there and test out all these new things. Overall, a lot of cool things in this update. We'll kind of see how it goes once again. Check out my other video. I'm going to be releasing a similar video for Project Diablo 2 on all of their changes and directly comparing them with these changes here. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you like this video or like any of my other videos. Make sure to check out any guides I have on Path of Diablo and Project Diablo 2. I try to release a new video at least weekly. Thank you guys for watching so much. I appreciate y'all. Let me know which one of these updates you guys really like or really hate. As you can see, there's tons and tons of comments here. People loving it, looks like, for the most part. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Peace.
If I don't fuck with it or you, then I just cannot stay. Got people who never saw me know my name. Satisfied just to work for stay the same. In my world, I be on that silent hill, yeah, yeah. Born into the fog, truly do this shit for real, yeah, yeah. Sin, I'm sin, so much.